Scott Van Pelt here. Hope you had a great Christmas. You perhaps just heard me and Tim Hasselbeck talking about this incredible game. You and Shanahan just so locked in, and that offense was humming. What worked best for you all tonight? It seemed like the answer is everything, but what are you most pleased with about how your offense operated tonight, Brock?
Yeah, man, I just think, to be able to go 4 quarters of, it's going to take what it takes as an offense to move the ball up and down. I thought the run game was good, and then to be able to get outside the pocket and make some plays, and then some scramble plays as well for us to be able to hit on those in the red zone. But just across the board, to be able to finish a game like that at the end of the year, I thought that was just huge for us.
I'm not sure when you threw the headset on, but I was just bragging on Tonjes tonight. Without Kittle, who we know is such a difference maker in the offense for you or whoever's playing quarterback, for him to be available for what he did, how significant was his contribution tonight?
Yeah, he's the man. He's always been ready all year, even when George has been balling. And then obviously when George goes down, to have him come back in and do his thing. He's consistent. He's smart, great hands. He's a guy that we can rely on at the Y position. And so tonight we saw that, and he's a hometown kid, so it was always cool to see him, ball out back home.
No doubt. And look, the game is just breathless back and forth. Caleb's playing at an incredibly high level, too. And we know what they've done this year, Brock. They've won 6 games when they've trailed at the 2-minute warning. And now they're at about the 3-yard line. There's 4 seconds left. There's not a darn thing you could do. What's it like when you're sitting there watching? Not the same as me, because you obviously had a whole lot more skin in the game. But what's that like when there's not a whole lot you can do other than watch?
Yeah, man, it's a lot of praying and obviously just having trust in the boys, man, to be able to just get a stop at the end of the day. You could drive all the way down the field, but it's about getting in the end zone. And so for our boys to get a stop like that, man, there's nothing you could do watching, but it felt so good to celebrate.
I appreciate you staying present. You're great at that. You and all your guys. It's this game and the next game. But now there's just one game, and it's rather significant, right? I mean, you know who's coming in and you know what the stakes are. How do you best describe what it's like to have a game that you know if you win it, you're home as long as you stay home, and if you stay home, there's the biggest game that there is in the sport in that field. So what's cooked into next week's game?
I mean, obviously it's everything in terms of getting the first seed in the playoffs. And, I mean, if you win next week, that's a game in the playoffs that you don't have to worry about. And so everybody knows that. But, I mean, that's sort of what we've been playing for the last 2 games. And obviously we got one more. So it's got to be the same mindset for us. We've got to watch this film, get better, and be ready to roll.
The dance moves have become a thing, Brock. You might have started it as a goof, but now I feel like it's been mandated by the squad. Like, if you don't do something, are you going to take crap from your teammates when you walk to the sideline?
Yeah, I mean, every time I score a touchdown and I'm either looking at the crowd or my teammates, like everybody's expecting me to do it now. So I might have to start studying some other kind of dance moves and learn something else. But it's been fun.
Well, hey, you keep scoring, you can do whatever you want. And I started by saying Merry Christmas. What you did, the cars you gave away, I'm not positive that was veterans, but what you did there was that's what the spirit of the holiday is all about, man. Salute to you for that. And tonight in this game, an incredible accomplishment for you and your guys, setting up a monster with Seattle coming Saturday on our air. I appreciate you throwing the headset on and visiting with us here, Brock. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Go Niners.
Yes, indeed. Brock Purdy put on an absolute show tonight, and the Niners are a step closer to earning the 1 seed in the NFC thanks to 5 scores that Purdy was responsible for. They knock off Seattle at home. They will clinch the top spot, which means then they would have a direct route to, if they continue winning, you're going to hear this said a lot, a home game to win the Super Bowl. The concern that I think is reasonable, as we watched Indianapolis kind of move the ball up and down the field on them on Monday night. They fumbled a kickoff, which put them out of position in the Monday night game. They get a stop in the end. Chicago just runs out of time. How concerning are both the defenses for these two teams that we witnessed, given that they really didn't stop either?
Yeah, they didn't. I mean, look, it's a huge deal. It's one of the reasons. Look, I think there's a natural tendency for people, like in my position and others, to look in favor of the offenses and say, like, wow, that was really good, and that's fun to watch, and that's great. But how often have we seen really good offenses get into the postseason and not have their best game? And when that happens and you can't stop anybody, that's a problem. I think the thing that really sticks out is, one, when you look at the Niners, for example, you can't get a pass rush. And if you can't get a pass rush, that's a problem.
Fewest sacks in the National Football League by a lot. I mean, we had the stat the other day, Myles Garrett has 6 more sacks than they do when the game started. It's crazy.
Yes, and a similar thing, we think about, Purdy's ability to escape, create, and buy time to find things, open down the field. Similar thing when you look at Chicago in terms of not being able to generate the pass rush.
We've sat here a lot all season long after the Bears have won games, and in retrospect, I feel like kind of we nitpicked and like, well, the Bears lost this game, but I couldn't have been more impressed with Caleb Williams. I thought he was astounding. What did you see from him tonight?
Yeah, I think you're right about that. I mean, he's playing at a level where you see him make throws and plays where you say, there's not many other guys in the league that can do that type of stuff. And so I think what's exciting about the Bears is that you have this exciting stuff that he can do, creating offense, crazy throws, running to his left. But the foundation of, I think, what they want to do is be a physical, smash you by running the football team. And so the combination of those two things, I think, is what makes them really dangerous. And then, like, the little cherry on top of all of it is like, oh, hey, there was a hook and ladder that almost scored a touchdown late in the game, like the creativity of Ben Johnson. Like the combination of those things, I think, is what makes them scary on offense.
I love that play call. We saw Buffalo, who I'm about to show their highlight in a minute. I mean, I give San Francisco a ton of credit. You had integrity of your responsibility there on that play. I almost wonder, were they looking for something like that?
Yeah, I think they were fortunate that they were in zone and weren't chasing, and Lenore was standing out there ready to make a play.
So the net here is two remarkable quarterback and offensive performances. I think each defense is a little bit frightening, given that we know that defense, as things move forward in the playoffs, tends to be what differentiates.
For sure.
With that in mind, we see an awfully good defensive performance.
Well, Sunday Night Football is finally over, and advantage 49ers, 42-38. The Bears go down. Offense, entirely optional in this one, about 1 million yards of total offense. And 100 points?
Yeah, close.
Close.
Yeah.
Okay, here's how it went down, because this literally came down to the closing seconds. Niners hosting the Bears, 4 seconds left. Bears down 42-38. Caleb Williams looking for someone, anyone. No one is there. Skips. It is incomplete. Niners hold on to win. They improve to 12-4. 42-38 is the final. We were making jokes all night about the million yards of offense and the offense being completely, optional, or defense being optional here. But that was the story of this game.
Oh, but if you're a fan of football, I mean, this was.
Oh, it's exciting.
You're
exciting. A lot of plays were made.
There was 900 total yards of offense. Think about that.
That's a lot.
The defensive players don't want to watch this tape. I wouldn't even allow them to watch the tape.
Yet there were a number of big defensive plays.
There was some big stops. Only 5 punts.
Started with the pick six.
And there was not a lot of turnovers. The one turnover San Francisco had.
Right.
But other than that, it was just back and forth, and the 49ers at the end stopped them. They made them kick a field goal.
So both teams came into this game with a chance to get the number 1 seed in the NFC. The Bears needed to win and then win next week and have someone else lose. But now the Niners, they control their destiny. If they win next week, Herm, they would be the number 1 seed in the NFC. And I felt like 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, we weren't even considering them for that possibility.
You're absolutely right.
How did they turn it around?
Yeah.
Coaching and their belief in their players that they had available. But they've been wounded.
True.
They were wounded early in the season.
That has been their excuse for not whatever.
It's hard to be any team in the NFL at this point and not be wounded.
McCaffrey was the bell cow for a while, the runner. He almost has 2,000 yards running and catching the football. I mean, it all revolves around him. The quarterback, for the most part, made some big-time plays. Defense, in and out. They just kept hanging in there, and now you said it. They play Seattle next week. If they can win that, all their games are at home.
But that's an interesting matchup, though, too. Seattle was a chance to have the 1 seed. How do those 2 teams match up?
Oh, boy. Good defense by Seattle. They play defense. Now, can they go in there and beat San Francisco and be interested to see? The way San Francisco played tonight, that whole NFC West, there's good teams. The Rams. Don't forget about the Rams.
Yeah.
Seattle's sitting there, and now San Francisco.
I mean, the way Seattle played in this game to get to 13-3. Yes. I mean, obviously, if you're looking at both sides, defense, yes, the quarterback has been really good this year as well. But going up against San Francisco, how would that defense match up with Brock Purdy and who you were talking about, Christian McCaffrey?
Yes. It'll be interesting. I mean, this is fun. I mean, this is what you play for. This is the 49ers are excited
this
to
season.
play a home game to win it all.
That's what you
have
want.
A chance to do that as
I mean,
well.
I'd rather have wrapped up the number 1 seed like 2 weeks ago.
Right, and
but
then
I'm
just
greedy.
relax and
But
just
I'm
like
greedy.
take the time
NFL
off.
though, they love this. They love this. All right, appreciate it.
Scott Van Pelt is next.
Yes.
We're back after
back
that.
after that.
So we'll see you in a few minutes or an hour, but you know.
Whatever it takes.